Yo, what's up guys? Today we have a gameplay for one of my more favorite champions, known as Nidalee. She is a support champion, shockingly, because she has her heal and she has her traps. Are her E and her W's. Yes, her E and her W's. So what she does is she throws spears, and that's pretty much all she does. Is throw spears, turns into a pretty cool looking tiger type of thing, and yeah, so that's that, and leaps around in that tiger form. Okay, so you see here I'm going up against an Orianna at mid. You don't see it yet, but she decides to take a crystalline flax, a mana potion, and a health potion. That is the kind of new meta since it's season 3. It's somewhat meta to do that because you get health and mana. But I'm not meta. I'm the new meta. I'm the old meta. I'm the awesome meta. I use the Doran's Ring and 2 health potions. Who needs mana when you can out harass your person you're going against in lane? Not me. So, I normally like to start games by laughing. So, yeah, I will let this roll on and then I'll start talking in a little bit. Okay, so as you see here, what I do is what everybody would do in lane. You CS as much as you can, and as you can see on our left hand on the map, I mean it's on the right hand but the left hand of the map I should say, our Darius got killed by Orianna, and Darius killed their jungler Sejuani. Um, Very good on his end. He decided, sorry, to go try and steal blue, and yeah, he failed, which ended up giving blue to um, nobody. Don't know what happened there. But yeah, so she has a health potion which she just used, and she still has her crystalline flasks. So what you'll notice in the beginning, obviously I'm trying to CS as much as I can, but one thing you will notice is the fact that my spears are somewhat missing sometimes. That's because in the beginning of the match, my internet was horrible and my FPS kept dropping because I was on a Skype call. But I end up getting off the Skype call later, and you can see how I do better. If you guys were wondering, the person I'm Skyping with is the Vayne on our team. It's my buddy Kevin from Xbox and from League now, and he's kind of like my prodigy almost. Um, yeah, so I'll just let this roll on, and so I like to play Nidalee a lot because I'm really good with skill shots in this game, and I just love the satisfaction when I randomly throw out a spear and kill a random person. You'll see that later in this game, and I'll point it out because there's one point in the game where okay, so as you can see, I'm laning. So I don't know if I mentioned this because I had to redo the recording, and I like Nidalee a lot because she's a really fun champion to play, and I love just throwing out random spears and hitting a random champion. That happens later on in this game, and I was just laughing for like 20 minutes straight because you'll see it and I'll point it out. But as you saw like probably 10 seconds ago, you can rewind if you want to see it. I threw a spear and it didn't even come close to Orianna. That's one thing I don't like about champions with skill shots, because it still hit her even though it wasn't even near her and it wasn't in the spear's hitbox. One character that I notice that a lot with is Lux. Her ultimate is one of the most like, how can I explain it? It BS's me the most, because if I'm up against it, I can be like 20 feet away from it and it'll still kill me. If I'm Lux, it'll be right on the person and they won't die, and stuff like that just pisses me off. So as you just saw there, I hit Orianna with a spear. Many people may ask, if you're new to this game or whatever, you may want to know why did that do so much damage compared to like 20 seconds ago when I hit her and it barely took out any of her health. Well, that's what the spear does. The farther you are away from them, the higher the damage goes. So the damage when you're the max distance away goes up to 300%, and it scales down with every, like, as you get closer it scales down that's just the normal base damage. So what you can see me doing right there, and I do it all throughout this game, I'll put traps down, and what I'll do with those is I'll use them as sight wards. I don't know if any of you guys know this, but sight wards in this game, they reveal the position around wherever you put them down. And I use those to see if I can snipe people or whatever the case may be. And yeah, so what I did was I made her go back to the base, and this lets me farm and get more CS, which is creep score, which is what you get when you kill those little minions, and you get gold pertaining to how much, you know, what you killed. And I'll put her W, which is her traps, I'll use it and I'll put it in a bush so I can do what's called the bush check, which is when you look at the bush to see if anybody's in there to gank you, which is when they go into your lane and try and kill you to help out their teammate in their lane. The lanes are the top, where you can see that character up at the top, that's a Ziggs. Well, the champion's name is Ziggs. The bottom, where you can see the girl with the glasses and the little scarecrow thing that just killed my friend. Kevin, you suck, by the way, just kidding. But, yeah. And, mid, which I'm in right now. So, a little background on Nidalee. This is a skin I have for her. It's called Headhunter Nidalee. Her normal, like, skin and appearance, I don't like it that much. But as you saw right there, I just turned into this tiger cougar thing. And what this is her ultimate. It's her R ability. And she can turn into a cougar, tiger, whatever you want to call it, liger, like in the show, what was that called? Liger Zero from, Zoids. It was called Zoids. But yeah, K to Cash right there, he's my buddy. But yeah, and it changes her QWE abilities to where Q, it's a single target, attacks one thing. Her W is that little pounce, and her E is the little thing where she slashes across with her claws. So, without Cougar form, as I've said before, her W lays that little trap that if an enemy steps on it, they, you can see them for, I forget how many seconds it is exactly. Her E heals her, her R makes her go into her cougar form, and her Q, as you just saw right there, throws a little spear that gains damage. So, Nidalee, in my opinion, isn't super overpowered. She's somewhat overpowered, but not enough to where, you know, you should get, like, people should get annoyed that you're playing her. Because she doesn't really have that many offensive abilities other than her Q, and when she's in cougar form. Her heal is so-so, and her W, you know, it's just a trap, and that's it. So, as you saw a few seconds ago, I saw Sejuani, or Sejuani, however you want to say it, because she went over my trap, and I knew she would, because that's why I placed it there. So, items for this build. What I like to do is, depending on how my lane is going, I'll either buy Sorcerer's Boots so I can get magic penetration, or Mercury Tread so I can get magic resistance. And so in a little bit you'll see, since my lane is going good, I'm gonna buy Sorcerers so I can just penetrate her armor. And that sounded like it would have gone somewhere else for a second. But yeah, and as you see, I have a Doran's Ring, which I bought in the beginning. I have Boots for the added speed, and I have a Tear of the Goddess. And what that does is, it gives me extra mana, and every time I use abilities, it fills it up to where I can get extra mana at the end. So, what I like to do is, I like to normally build an Archangel Staff last, because in my opinion, all Nidalee really needs is a Tear of the Goddess, and that's really it for the extra mana. You don't need to spend that much more gold for an Archangel Staff. So, what I'll buy first for this build is I'll buy a Rabadon's Death Cap, which gives you 120 ability power and 30% spell vamp. What that does is, obviously as it sounds, it makes your spells 30% more powerful. So, with her Q, what ends up happening is you can get up to 300% damage normally, and if I'm not mistaken by my math, with the Rabadon's death cap, you can get 400% damage, which that doesn't sound like 100% would be that much of an improvement, but it truly is a lot better, to where the spears can do like more than half health. Then I'll go for Deathfire Grasp for the cooldown reduction, Azonia's Hourglass, and because you can use it and be totally not frozen, but untargetable for like a few seconds, which that's really good. And so yeah, and as you see there, I kind of sniped that Sejuani with my spear, and you'll notice I do that a lot with people. And so I got her as well, because she was a little snarky girl and decided to go right into my spear. And yeah, so I like to build the 120 ability power items, A, so I can get all the DPS in the game, and B, so I can have that 120, 120, 120, 360 ability power for maximum damage. But their effects are good too, because you have the 10% cooldown, you have the 30% spell vamp, then on the Zonias you have the armor, plus the ability power, and you can become untargetable. And that's always good, everybody knows. So yeah, as you can see, I'm coming down for a gank right now, and I don't know how that spear missed, and that's what I'm just talking about with earlier, with spears missing a lot. And yeah, then I normally, if I'm not mistaken, then I'll build a Zonia's. I'm not Zonia's, then I'll build a Archangel's. And as you can see how much damage the spears really do, because I one-banged that fiddle from that distance. And I forget what I build this game, but I end up going really good too. So you'll just see later. You'll have to stay tuned and watch. And that's one thing I hate about Vayne, is she has a really overpowered ultimate. And right here I could have saved my friend Kevin, but he told me to let him die. Don't know why he told me that, but he's just like, dude, let me die so I can go to the shop quicker. So I'm like, okay, whatever, you can die. So right now you can see I'm going up against Orianna, and if I'm not mistaken, Sejuani is still there. So what I'll do in this 1v2 situation, I'll just go hug the turret, and that's it. Compared to earlier when I was with Darius, and I got the double kill, I knew he was there, so it was a lot better. So I was reassured that I wasn't gonna die, because I knew that me and him could just outplay them. So as you can see up at top, they're having a little confrontation. My friend Kevin is coming back now, and their Blitzcrank, well, I mean our Blitzcrank is back. So I'm gonna see if I can get some kills here. And right there, that was just a teeny internet lag, to where I saw it looked like she was up more, but she ended up being literally in the middle of the turret, and I could have died there. So my buddy and we're just going to take out this turret real quick, and we see the Orianna, so I'm just going to throw a spear and hope that it hits her. So now I'm going to recall, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to buy Sorcerer's Boots and maybe a big rod, needlessly large rod, on the two. Oh, and if you guys haven't figured this out, I am, not doing this live. So, as I was saying, I'm not doing this live, which means I got that wrong. What I actually bought was a Rabadon's Death Cap, and That's it. You know why I bought that, you may want to know? Well, you're gonna learn right now. Gotta get the DPS. And that's why. Gotta get the max DPS, so you can just get kills, help your team, and end up winning. That's really the only thing why I'm not gonna build Magic Resist. Even though they have, you know, Volibear, they have Fiddle, they have Oriana. So why would I build Magic Resist when 3/5 of the team is AP based? Which AP is pretty much magic in this game, for you, those of you that don't know. So yeah, our Ziggs is getting attacked by the Sejuani. For no reason, I'm totally oblivious to this. And you can see the volley and the Sedge coming for us now. If I'm not mistaken, they go for us. I don't see how I just killed Fiddle there, but yeah. So they're getting attacked by Sejuani. So I'm gonna jump in, do the pounce Q combo. When you're in Cougar form with Nidalee, what you want to do is you want to use your W, then you want to use your E, then your Q. So what you do is you pounce, you slash, then you bite, or whatever her Q is called. I don't know. And that should do some good DPS. Then when you're done with that, go back into normal form and just start throwing spears, and you should be all fine. So right now I have 252 ability power. As you can see, their Oriana, which is who I was facing in lane, has no ability power. Actually, I lied. She has Athene's Unholy Grail. Shout out to Athene. Gotta play some games. But as you can see, the DPS on me versus her is not really, like, you can't even talk about it or compare it. So again, we're gonna get into a little team fight with their Sejuani and Volibear this time. And those little blood things that you see, that's Darius's passive, where he gets bleed damage on them. And yeah, so I'm getting attacked right now by their Vayne, who honestly is no match for me at this point. But I flash so I can lead her into this other team fight that would hopefully happen if she came here. So they would try to save their lovely little Vayne. But no, our Blitz decides to go in and look for her, which he finds her. So he's doing whatever he's doing down there. And if you're wondering right now why it's fixed camera, I normally don't play in fixed camera and I go throughout the camera modes all the time. I'll be in fixed, I'll be in unfixed, whatever. So we're gonna hide in this bush and hopefully they'll come to us. And right now I'm signaling to do dragon, because you know it's 500 gold, that's really good. So we all group up in that bush to make sure they don't come, you know, get us, and then we start the dragon. And Ziggs use his ultimate, which I found funny because there's no reason the Ziggs should use his ultimate. Now, one thing I noticed during this game, which I didn't get, was why Fiddlesticks got a Spectral for no reason. He probably should have gone for Death Cap, because that's normally what you go first with Fiddlesticks. So I don't know what his thinking behind that was. So as you saw on that, my spears do a pretty considerable amount of damage at this point, versus people that don't have that much armor, even though Volley has Mercury Treads. So for some reason our team didn't want to go for Baron, so we're just going to start roaming around until we find another team fight. Because at this point, the laning phase is pretty much over, I would say, for us at this point. So my buddy Kevin, I was telling him to pop off and go somewhere else, and Ziggs throws in his ultimate, and me being the stupid person I am, decides to just go in and trying to get this confrontation, but for some reason my heal didn't go off on me. But Kevin ends up dying, and they kill Sejuani. So, in all honesty, it wasn't that bad because it was a 2 for 2. I think. Yeah, it was a 2 for 2. So that was my first death of this right now. I'm 5, 1, and 6. 5 kills, 1 death, 6 assists. So what I just did was I bought Sorcerer's Boots, which gives me 15 magic penetration, and it gives me, I think it's 45 movement speed extra, and I also bought a Fiendish Codex, which that gives me cooldown reduction, and it builds towards the Deathfire Grasp, which will give me even more cooldown reduction, or it's the same one too. So what that ultimately will give me is the ability to throw more spears in a quicker amount of time, which is awesome, obviously. So the Blitzcrank is being attacked by now. You know, as you saw, I just did half of Vayne's health with that spear. And the Sejuani goes to attack us again, and oh my god, I just killed that Fiddlesticks, and I didn't even realize that. So, oh, that's what I was actually talking about, I lied. That's when, you know, somehow the spear went right through and killed the Fiddle. And that's what I love about Nidalee, is you can just snipe people, and it's so gratifying when you do it. Right now you can see their Orianna has a Fiend's Unholy Grail, a Giant Belt, and a Blasting Ward. What that does, it gives her extra health, some ability power, and magic resist. So I'm not going to be doing a super amount of damage to her right now. But it's good that I have the magic penetration, because that really helps a lot too. So Darius and I are going to go look for a fight right now. And for some reason that didn't hit her. As you can see there, I just threw a little spear because I'm awesome like that. Now this here coming up in a minute, if I'm not mistaken, this is the moment. Yep, just watch, I'll be quiet. So I'm gonna let Darius die, to be honest with you. Get a double with my little claws. Jump in, use my Q, use my E, then use it again, go for her, and throw a spear at the end. And as you can see, I just got a quad. I didn't throw a spear either, I just used my Q. But that's what the cooldown reduction gives you. It gives you the ability to use your abilities a lot more and a lot quicker. And I got the quad because of that. Because if my abilities weren't on such a low cooldown compared to what they were, it would have been a lot harder. So as you can see, I just bought a Deathfire Grasp. So now I have 430 ability power at 24 minutes. And that's, in all honesty, it's pretty high for only 25 minutes of playtime. And as you can see, I'm getting fed because I'm 11, 1, and 6. I'm not getting fed. In essence, I'm just getting the kills, so it's not really fed. So I do a pretty good chunk of health with those spears. And as you can see, my blue buff just expired, which gives me mana regen and other stuff. We get into another little fight here, and I overextend. And if I'm not mistaken, I end up dying here, I think. And I also kill Volibear. And I think I try to go help my buddy Kevin. Not sure. And at this point, as you saw with Vayne, I just did half her health with one spear throw. And I go back to try and find them, but I think I fail with that. So at this point I have a godlike, and I'm 12, 1, and 7, and they've escaped, because I didn't push hard enough to go find them. But that's fine with me, because I sometimes play it a little safe with Nidalee. So what I'll do right here is I'll just go look for them. I go to try and take their blue buff because I just had a feeling that they would have been going for it at that point because I knew it had spawned. And I see the Orianna there, and I know she has crap load of magic resist, so I just go and I wait for her to go attack that minion wave because I wasn't sure, and I could have just sniped her. And obviously I missed that spear shot. So now I see another little team fight brewing, so I go to engage. And right now, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm in the free cam, which you can't see right here, because I didn't go into free cam, and I'm just looking to see when the opportune time to go and engage is, which now is the opportune time. And as you can see, Darius is doing what he does best, and he just keeps dunking people, and I kill their main, which is actually really good because she's one of their main damage people. And as you can see right now, their Orianna is just bought a Ryla's crystal. I think I just butchered that too. I forget what the name of it is. That actually may be the name, Ryla's crystal or Ryla's whatever. And that's for extra health because she's afraid of me at this point. Because I'm 13, 1, and 9, and I can do pretty much half her health, or anybody's health, 3/4 on Fiddlesticks, because he's so squishy with one spear throw. And I just like to do this for the extra speed. Just go in her cougar form so I can be ready for when I go out. So at this point, 27 minutes in, I get a needlessly large rod, which gives me 80 ability power. So I have 543 ability power, 37 minutes in. And for those of you that don't know about this game that much, that's a lot of ability power to have at this point. Because I'm just getting kills on kills on kills. And I always like to go around this way because I'm going to be a little snarky and look for people in these bushes. Because normally that's where they like to go. And I just pinged the dragon, which you saw with that question mark, because I was wondering if our team wanted to engage or not. This right here, I see there's Sejuani. And I go, and I do this a lot. I like to taunt people, even though my team's not there, just so they think I'm baiting them, and it's just pretty much a troll thing to do in this game. So I go in, because we have another team fight brewing. I see their Vayne, so I go for her because she's the main DPS person. And yeah. So this right now is pretty much a bad fight to be in, and as you can see I start to try to bug out and die. And Darius again, being Darius, I think gets a triple kill again. Yeah, he gets another trip. So what I like to do at this point is just buy situationally. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy Azonia's so I can go into that form, which I don't think I ever go in because for some reason I just never use it. So I'm 13, 2, and 12, which I have 12 assists, which since Nidalee support isn't really that bad at this point in the game. 13 kills, very good. 2 deaths, super good. And I see this Darius, and what I love to do is I love to be on the top of the team with Nidalee. And if I'm not, it not necessarily pisses me off, but I get irritated because I should be doing better. And if I don't get top, then I look at what I could do better to make it myself top. So I bought home guards for my boots, which lets me have that super fast Usain Bolt speed coming out of spawn. And as you can see here, we decide to go for Baron. So we can get that nice and buff. And I start off obviously with a spear shot. I heal KJ Cash so he can get the extra attack speed. And that happened in the beginning, so obviously I didn't just do it. I heal myself because my heal is pretty good at this point. Go out for a large spear throw, and then go back in for the Baron. So yeah, we get the Baron, and then we decide to go and just look for team fights so we can get extra gold and extra items. And that right there, I don't know why that didn't hit that volley, so that really ended up getting me pissed off. And right here, all I'm just doing right now is poking them with the spears and just going into Cougar form and doing as much as I can. So, in my opinion, what we could have done at this point in the game is we could have went for the win, but for some reason our team doesn't decide that, and Ziggs and I just decide to hang out for a little bit at the spawn. And as you see, with that spear throw, I did almost 3/4 of Vayne's health, which I find hilarious. Now I'll go right here to heal my friend Kevin and tell him to stay, cause he can do DPS and we can destroy this inhib. And I don't even know why I flashed there, I didn't really need to be honest with you. And yeah, so their Volley and Sejuani are pretty tanky at this point. And they have a pretty fair amount of kills for the support and jungler. And so what we just do here, we just try to get Volley. And yeah, the thing that pissed me off a lot was Mr. Stanchy Taco, or Stanchy, whatever his name was, he didn't take kills, but he got kills that he shouldn't, let's put it like that. So Ziggs and I decide to, back up a little bit. I decide to throw a spear, and we just head into this bush, and end up recalling. And if you wonder why it took me so long to recall, it's because I was, what's it called? Going to help Darius, so I didn't end up recalling. Because we both got Dragon in the end, because I didn't want him to die even though he wouldn't, because he had lifesteal. So at this point, I decide to buy a Zhonya's, and I'm pretty sure I go back, yeah, and I just leave. And as you can see, I have 662 ability power 30 minutes in, and that's really just too much at this point. And their Orianna is still really, she's not even fed or anything. I have 4 major items: Sorcerer's Boots, Deathfire, Rabadons and Zhonya's, and all she has is Rylas and Athene's. Oh, his name's Stanchy Mango. Whatever. Whatever the case may be. As you can see, this fiddle is just going hard into pain right now. So I decided to go heal Darius because I'm such a nice guy. And then we go back in on them. And I end up killing Vayne with that pretty good snipe right there. And that's why you should never run towards a Nidalee that's fed. Because she just got sniped out, and I have double buffs again, which really helps. And they're fresh double buffs too, so I should have them for a pretty good amount of time. And right here I'm just killing minions so our creeps can just go in and be all creepy. And as you saw with that spear throw, I was almost max distance and it did nothing to Sejuani. But, and that pissed me off because he stole that kill right there. And Ziggs, just retarded Ziggs, and he deserved to get killed. Yeah, so as you can see, 46 seconds, 45, 44, 43, 42 seconds to respawn, so yeah. And while I take this time to talk to you about anything while I'm respawning, I would just like to let you know that this game is called League of Legends. It's a very fun game, totally free. I'll post the link in the description. What you'll get is you'll get RP and all that crap, which you can buy champions and their skins, and it'll help me. So help me to help you to help me. This is a very fun game, so yeah, you guys should play it. So it's 37 minutes in, and I am very fed.
Blue team's inhibitor is respawning soon.
So right now I just decided what the heck I would buy, and I decided, don't ask what I did there because I had a little lag, but I got a blasting ward because I'm gonna build, I think, an archangel staff now, or I don't think I get to build it because I'm pretty sure we get to end the game at this point. So right now all we're doing is we're pushing up and we're going for the win at this point because we know we can pretty much all kill them because Darius and I are super fed and their kills are evenly spread, so that's pretty good. And this is a pretty good move I do here. I call it the flash spear, because you just flash in on them and just whip out a spear. And at this point, Ziggs and I, we just decide, you know, we're just gonna stay around and get some kills. But Ziggs decides instead, and this was all in chat, he decides to leave instead. And I think he might buy items, I'm not sure. But for some reason he buys 2 Rabadons, even though their passes don't stack, so I didn't know what was up with that. And so as you just saw, I just destroyed a few towers, so our minion can now push up. But Volibear, being the bear he is, he decides to, you know, try and chase me. Like I always say, you never chase in Italy. Like, why would you ever chase in Italy? And for some reason I didn't go back in on volley for some reason. Again, don't know. Yeah, and so I buy an Archangel staff and it automatically transforms into the next one because I had just had the tier since like 10 minutes into the game.
The team has slain a dragon.
As you can see, 783 ability power 80 minutes in. That's close to what a full build would be. And I just go right now and I go to buy a what's it called? Shirelius? Maybe?
Shut down.
Because I know that's Haunting Guys. Um,
Blue team's inhibitor is respawning soon.
and as you see right there, I don't go in on Sejuani because I'm not stupid like that. I'm not gonna go against someone that has, you know, a bunch of magic resist and everything. But Leandri's Torment is what I was gonna build into if the game had kept going. So, yeah. But as you can see, the game ends in 2 minutes, so you can tell that we just ended. Or should I say, they surrender. Spoiler alert. That's what I hate. I don't know about you guys, but I hate when people say spoiler alert after they tell you the spoiler. It's like, what really is it needed? So, yeah, this is my Nidalee, and if you guys want to see more Nidalee, just tell me. I also have gameplays of Lux, a funny gameplay of Zed, where I was pretty much just being a trolly Zed, and that's it. And yeah, Nidalee, Lux, and I can do gameplays of any champion really. Just put it in the comments if you really want, and if I don't have it already, I'll just buy it. And it's like, I have the full AP rune page, I just need to go buy the AD rune page, so once I have that, I'll be doing a bunch of AD champs, like Vayne, what the heck's his name? Varus if you guys want, Darius, all those people, because I've played with them before and I'm pretty good. And don't think that this game right here is like a 1 in a million game where I go like 18, 3, and 23. These are my normal Nidalee games. Right there I let the Ziggs get healed by me. I thought I let him die in the end, but I didn't. I should have just let him die because he pretty much took the kill in the end. And that spear shot, I don't even know what I was doing there, to be honest with you. And this is pretty much how the game ends, where Ziggs and I go to chase the volley bear, and we each somehow fail, which I found retarded. Because even though I was spear throwing and everything, it just didn't work out, and somehow I missed this. I was kind of pissed when I did, but we ended up winning, so yeah, and that was a good game. So yeah, that's my Nidalee gameplay.